Okay.
Hello, welcome to another episode of my podcast, Fit Like. I'm joined tonight by Gayle Noble. Fit Like, Gayle.
I'm no bad yourself.
I'm off a fine, thanks, and thanks for coming on.
No bother.
Okay, now I'm going to say to folks, fit you are, and you can explain. Gayle is a salty water dipper. Now, until Gayle told me if it was, I hadn't a clue. So maybe, Gayle, can you enlighten me? What is a salty water dipper?
A salty water dipper is somebody who's basically gone dipping in a sea, mostly down the Broch Beach, to be honest. And I've been doing it for about 2.5 years now, roughly. And just getting the benefits of throwing myself in the sea a few times a week.
A few times a week.
Aye.
So you're saying you was doing a couple of years. How did you get involved in doing this, Gayle?
Well, I'd seen that there'd been a few of the local quines that are kind of involved in surfing and that initially had kind of started up a group called Salty Water Folk. And initially I was just like, oh, that's probably more for kind of cool surf folk and nothing near me. But me and my chum, we thought kind of quite fun. So yeah, it was during the time of COVID and nothing, and so a lot of the pools and nothing were shut. And we were just looking for something different to kind of do. And I swimming in resort of harbour and beach and all that as a bairn and nothing, but just never really done anything like that as an adult. And just thought, oh, why not? We'll give it a go, and just been hooked ever since.
Okay, so let me take you back to the first time you did in the Broch. Did you do it with somebody or on your own?
Oh no, it was with somebody. It was with my pal Judith, and there was a few of the quines that for the salty water folk, they were there as well. And we probably picked the worst day ever to go. I've probably never seen waves like it since. And it was an experience to I can't even begin, and I can't why on earth we went back, to be honest, after that day.
Well, it couldn't be that bad, Gayle. You've been back. So
Aye.
I'm picturing you leaving your car and walking down the stairs, down on the beach. It's going through your head. You say, oh, me, it's freezing cold water, and I'm like, Egypt, I'm walking in here.
I think probably thinking I must be off my head being here today because that waves look massive and it was snowing and blowing a gale and thinking, oh my God, why am I out of my bed at this time in the morning? Again, it was probably about 7 in the morning or something. But I thought, well, I'm here now, so we're just going to do it. And even if we're just in a few minutes, then we've done it. And and that's what we did.
Good. Was you a wetsuit or just a short and t-shirt? What did you have on?
Duckers. We'd our duckers on, and I think I'd gotten a shot of a pair of wetsuit gloves for my brother, and like wetsuit, like kind of I just like shoes, things to put on, and I just in my duckers.
Okay, so I mean, I like walking beyond the edge of the water, just up the Mongols. I find it refreshing. The water keeps up a bit higher, it gets a wee bit too cold. Who's thinking from the water was creeping up like knee high and waist high? How's you coping with that?
I mean, it's cold like you've never felt cold before, and just think, and again, it's just, I mean, I still do it now. I think I need to get a new hobby. Why am I doing this? This is blooming freezing. But it's weird because although it's cold and you're thinking, oh my goodness, fit on earth am I doing? It gives you a massive buzz as well. It's just obviously triggers endorphins and nothing, and it's just you come out and you're absolutely buzzing afterwards. And it's challenging and that in itself, just doing it. And I think that's why a lot of folk do it.
So when you're in the water, do you hear actual swim or are you just duking up your neck or for the video?
Okay, mostly just ducking up to our necks, and we hear like paddle about, and it kind of depends on the conditions. And the sea, kind of, if it's really wavy, you can't really swim much. It's more just biding alive and jumping in the waves and nothing. And but saying that in summertime, when it's fine and flat, calm, we probably will swim about a bit. But a lot of us that go end up sort of paddling about and clicking in the water, to be honest. So,
So me and my wife was sitting there having a Finlay's fish and chips in it down the beach, and we seen a group going in.
uh-huh.
Now they just get doing like there was nothing untoward. Walked in, away they went, quite happy.
Mm-hmm.
Is that age groups or male, female? Is there any sort of demographic that's doing it more than others?
That's one good thing. I think it's really for everybody. And there's probably quite a big kind of age range of folk, and a mixture of male and female. Aye, so I think it's good because no matter for age you are, you can do it. And aye, and I know I wouldn't say there's only specific demographic. Folk have kind of, although it's the encompassing group is the salty water folk have kind of made chums and that through it, and then they probably have their own little wee groups that they tend to kind of go with. But I would say there's still the kind of groups like meet usually twice a week, the salty water folk, and we are still go up, but then we meet at other times and that as well. So and there's like a WhatsApp group, so folk will just post on it, I'm going for a duck a day, I'm going at this time, and then I'll be folk will just be like, aye, oh well, I'll come down and and it means that folk aren't gone by themselves, and it's quite sociable and that as well.
You mentioned folk on themselves, Gayle. Is it a thing you would recommend? Is it safe to do on your own?
I wouldn't recommend it. No, it's not anything that I've certainly wanted to do, and I think just for a safety point of view and that as well, it's always again, you didn't trust the sea, didn't ever become complacent, because that's when bad things can happen and all that. So I think being safe, and if you've got a chum with you, or even kind of first times I've went down and kind of my man or that's there, and then he's at least on the shore. But even that, a majority of times I'm going, probably because I'm getting away from my man and my bairns, just to hear peace down the beach for a while. So am I usually going and meeting up with chums.
Aye. So that would say when you get into the water, you kind of heat up. Do you actually heat up, or do your body just acclimatise to the cold?
I think you definitely in the North Sea acclimatise. I don't think I've ever say that I heat up. So your body just kind of gets used to it, and again, different times a year. Like I knew's a really quite a fine time a year because the water's nae actually hugely cold, and it's just you're starting to getting a bit of windy in that now, but I compared to like gone in January, February, it's a hell different ball game doing it at that time of year. So when you come out and you've got like a gale of wind blowing and it's raining and that's you're fairly colder then than you are if it can summertime or at this time of year.
I can imagine. So you did all the year round then?
All year round, yep.
Yeah, me. I'm shaking my head. So you mentioned coming out the water there, Gayle. What do you put on when you come out to get warm? Is there a head drink available, or what do we do?
We've all usually got like like towel kind of robe things. It's fine. It makes it easier for kind of just heating up quite quick. A lot of folk have got like the big jackets, like the dry robes and that, and they're a game changer. And it's usually a hat. There's times I'll just shove on socks, and winter's time I'll have a pair of joggers or that as well. And we again, for the social aspect, we are usually sitting can have our tea and hear news and nothing afterwards, and it's quite good at because your body just gradually kind of like warms up and that again. So and it means obviously you've got to be aware of things like after drop after being cold water swimming. So it's like when your body's really cold, and then if it suddenly kind of coming out of the water and to heat up quite quickly, it can drop your blood pressure and things.
Okay.
Make you feel a bit lightheaded and ahin. So gradually warming yourself up and ahin's probably a bit safer doing it that way as well.
And as you said, good socially sitting half like up here and using plenty of neck dip.
Aye, yep, that's it, absolutely.
So you've been at, you says a couple of years, and you've seen an increase in numbers of folk doing this?
Aye, definitely. Especially when it comes into the finer months and ahin, and I mean, there's no way bonnier than the Broch Beach on a fine day.
I agree with
And
it.
and just you see a lot more folk maybe trying it for the first time and that then kind of on a fine day and even just doing with their bairns or at to the beach and thinking, oh, seen other folk going in, and then it's making them want to go in as well. Um, Tends to maybe drop off as it's coming into winter time again.
Mhm.
Just for obvious reasons. Can some folk are maybe nae as feel as me and my chums, so but aye, there's always new folk joining. We get, I think, over the summer and that as well, you get a lot of folk in that's maybe biding up here on holiday at a
Okay.
caravan site or that.
Mhm.
They usually come in like, go, hey, news with us who we're sitting, hey, and we're tear and then Abdi's really friendly and just like, oh, you should just come. We'll be back at this time of morning, and some of them have kind of came along and that as well. So
Very good. Now,
yeah.
when we was young bairns, I was right there, walking in the sea is good for injuries and kind of like for I used to play football. But I'd say I meet an uncle, going in the sea. Is there any truth in that, or is that just all wife tales?
I would say there's definitely truth in it. Because if you imagine, kind of if you've got any kind of muscular injuries or anything, can
Mm-hmm.
they usually tell you can put in something like ice or frozen peas and wrapped in a tool,
Mm-hmm.
putting it on it, it helps bring down inflammation. So you imagine you're going into the sea, water's cold, so it's doing the same job, but it's getting your blood vessels and that a bit of a workout and that as well. So aye, definitely good for that. I mean, my chum when she was training for the London Marathon and that, and she loved it, kind of being able to, if they're doing the long runs and stuff, being able to go into the sea and helping with our muscles and that and helping with our
Mm-hmm.
training and nothing.
Getting up a popular in sport now, like ice baths and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
Aye, absolutely.
mhm. But Gail, it has to be said, I'm a 40-degree hot tub man. There is no way get me to see that I'm up to my uncles, maybe for a walk. That's it. I cannot cope with cold water on me.
Uh-huh.
Well, see,
You probably could though. I think a lot of folk that I mean, a few of the folk that I go with, I mean, honestly, they're cold fish. Their eye was freezing, and I think there's no way on this earth they're going to manage in the sea. And there's a few of them that are still doing it a few years later. And the skirl and ahin when they're going in the water, but they're all right once they're in and they keep coming back. So
see if you do something a few times, you kind of get used to it. Do you ever get used with a call that you're going into that sea, or is that a shock to you every time you get in?
um I wouldn't say it's a shock on him there because you kind of ken if it's coming,
Mm-hmm.
and it's definitely new. We're probably quicker at getting quicker you get in and just get your shoulders and nothing under.
Mm-hmm.
The more your kind of body becomes acclimatized to it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to lie, it's still cold. There's still times that I get, as I say, that we'll skirl and scream and all that and thing, and some folk are probably watching us for the show are thinking, fit on earth are they up till? But oh, you hear laughing at as well, and it's exhilarating. So
Mm-hmm.
aye, it's good fun.
Well, the water's cold, Gail. If that's a safety time limit, you could buy down, is there?
I think when we first started doing it, it was like spoken about, oh, you shouldn't have been in longer than 10 minutes and that. But to be honest, I think it really depends on fit you feel yourself when you're going in. I mean, when we first
Mm-hmm.
started, we just went in a couple of minutes and that was it. That was enough.
Mm-hmm.
But as you get into it more and you get more used to, I mean, we're used to the Broch Beach. We kind of a bit more in a way kind of came what we're doing and being aware of the tides and waves and stuff like that. And there's times that I mean we'll just avoid going because we kind of it's mental. We're not on a death wish. We're not going to go in there
Mm-hmm.
when it's really crazy. But I think you kind of can yourself. You start to feel a bit of call when you're in the water, then you can. It's probably time for you to be gone out. So
Aye.
in summertime, we definitely bide in quite long, maybe 45 minutes.
Well, it's a
Um,
long time, yeah.
but then in winter, would be lucky if we made it to 10 minutes, just because it is just that much colour. I mean, the sea itself, there's no much change in the temperature of the sea, but it's more the atmosphere and as when you're coming out.
As you say, your body is a good body is a good indicator. It soon tells you if you need bed info. So see if you're coming out, you're up, you've been in, you're walking back out, you're just out of water. How are you feeling? Relieved, delighted, happy, exhilarated? How are you feeling?
I would say exhilarated, happy. Sometimes I think quite calm in it as well. Like I think it's quite good for like kind of if you've had a stressful day or anything, and it just kind of calms your mind and just makes you just chill out a bit. Although you've got a bit of a buzz and that like rush for doing it, it's just you can feel like just a bit calmer. So that's usually how I feel.
Do you just say wear because you never wear a wetsuit?
No, it's not much a faff me getting in and out of a wetsuit, to be honest. So it's much easier. Just duckers, and I like that. In fact, I can go fun, I can manage, and there's no set times or whatever. It's just if I can manage, I'll go. If I can't, then it's no you're not tying yourself into stuff, and it just makes it easy. You just shove in your duckers, take your boots and gloves with you, and my like jacket for wearing when I come out, and it's quite easy ozy.
Okay, well, you just answered my next question. I was about to say, part of be changed, but you obviously getting dressed at home and then just putting your jacket on and going home again.
We usually go down like with my duckers on and usually my dry robe on top, and then when we come out, we've got up poncho towels and everything, and so we are just get changed in the beach. So I'm sure there's been a few folk. In fact, I can. There's been a few folk flashing at the beach trying to get their clays and nothing back on, when hauling their tools and that ruin them. When it's windy and nothing, but that gives folk, I think, a boost as well. I mean, there's a lot of folk at Goer, and it takes a bit of confidence to be strutting down the Broch Beach just with your duckers on. So that as well, I think, is good for folk as well.
And the beauty of it is, in this world cost of living crisis, it costs nothing to do it.
Absolutely, it's nothing at all. I mean, yep, I've invested and I got myself a dry robe and nothing, but I've certainly got my money's worth out of it. But you can there's just as much folk come down and they've just their duckers and a tool and maybe a dressing gown or something to put on after they come out. Can a flask for your tea. That's usually really about it. So definitely it's fine to just hear you're not having to spend lots of money on something.
So is a big dog walking about the beach with a bottle of brandy on its neck to give a brand for the
No, that's a good suggestion though.
Somebody wants to hear with their dog. So, Gayle, I'm asking for me. So let's make sure I'm asking for me. If somebody wanted to get involved with salty water dippers, how would they go about doing it?
There's a Facebook page and an Instagram page. So just it's Salty Water Folk, and generally at the moment it might be changing again coming into winter time, but normally it would have a dip on a Wednesday evening at 7 and Saturday morning at 8 o'clock in the morning. As I say, once it comes into winter, obviously when it's darker nights and everything, there's no really folk same going and dipping and that in the evening. And then if you message out, then there is a WhatsApp chat, and then you can ask to get added to the WhatsApp group, and then it's just pretty much folk will just post on there fun they're going to be going, and you can just join in and just go whenever, and Abdi's more than welcome to come along.
And bring my own flask and be ready for news.
Yeah, absolutely. And I bet we'll laugh in that as well.
Well, hey, life's too serious for you. Need a laugh anytime you can get.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So roughly, Gayle, till now, how much time have you been in Dukin since you've started this?
Since I've started, oh gosh, well, I probably go about 3 or 4 times a week. So But in like summer time, it could be could go up to sometimes even every day. It just depends. Like just depends on work and bearings and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But all through winter, I would say still probably about at least 3 times a week, I would say.
Okay. Now, the reason I was asking that is I was just wondering if there's only aftermath that don't we get the cow or flus or anything, maybe out the freezing cow.
No, I don't think so. No, I think it's probably I mean, I looked at some stuff, King, so I wasn't sure what questions you were going to ask me, but like, the benefits and all, and I mean, they're doing research and stuff, looking at whether doing stuff like cold water therapy and like wild swimming and all, and if it actually boosts your immunity.
Mm-hmm.
It's still early days and everything and that just new, but I so I mean I think it's really overall good for your health, and it's certainly not made me only more susceptible to like coughs and colds or anything like that.
Aye, okay. No, I just did one out with the really cow. Now, is it
Hmm
only a person with medical conditions that should not go and DVD? So, like, folk would do
Um,
that or anything.
I think it, I think it's being aware about any medical conditions and that you've got, speaking to the folk that I guess look after that medical conditions and that for you, um, and just asking their advice, whether that be can your own doctor or a specialist nurse, whatever. Um, but I would say the majority of things there's no anything that I would say it's a definite no-no. But I think we are thing it's being sensible. If something doesn't feel right or you start to feel nae wheel or it's painful, whatever, then you should probably just stop
Mm-hmm.
doing it. And for the safety things, if you're going to try something, do it in an organised group, do it with folk kind that have done it before and a bit more experience in that with it. One of the things I would say is because we're kind of walking into the water, you're kind of slowly acclimatizing your shell. It's a
Mm-hmm.
whole different thing if you've got folk that are I mean, doing stuff like pier jumping, things like that, for your jumping directly into cold water. That's you're more likely to get your things like your cold water shock and things
Mm-hmm.
like that. So, but doing things kind of like paddling and a wee bit egging up to your knees and then maybe up to your waist and stuff like that. It's a bit more sensible, a bit more gentle for folk as well.
Mm-hmm. See, that photo I made you, the ground looks pretty flat. How far
Uh,
do you go before the ground starts going sloping down a wee bit? Are you a fair way out before you can get to that?
oh, it just kind of depends because we in a broch it kind of changes all the time with the tides, and sometimes I feel like we're like I'm doing a Duke of Edinburgh to get out to get on a sort of depth. It can be
Mm-hmm.
a fair distance out, but then again, there's times that you can be and it's really like up and down, and there's kind of holes in that air, and you're watching it. There's no rocks, and just being careful. But again, that's a benefit going in a group.
Mm-hmm.
We're all kind of looking out for one another, and and just can watch out for each other and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Now, without naming names, you must say some funny stories that's happened since you've been out there. Go on and enlighten us. Didn't embarrass on about naming names. It's the funniest
Oh,
thing out in the water.
oh my goodness, funny things. Oh man. We've definitely had a lot of getting completely wiped out by waves, and it maybe can bits of their anatomy being flashed because the waves has can maybe removed removed their duckers or whatever. Um, oh, just it's just fun. Like folk, I mean, my pals that she goes all the time. And I she does like her own kind of like synchronized swimming and nothing there. She's off her head completely. Um, but I stuff like that, and oh, we've had a lot of laughs even out with Ken after we've been in for a duke and then sitting hen a
Mhm.
yap. I mean, the stuff that we end up speaking about it, sitting on that bench and on a prom. I mean, I've laughed as much can my moose there. It's just been it's been really, really good fun.
So I mean, I just see your face, the smiles, how much you enjoy it. So I mean, the social side of it is really good. You're getting good duking. It's keeping you exhilarated. There's no a lot wrong with it apart from one thing, Gail. It's
What now?
freezing cold.
It's freezing. It is freezing. Absolutely.
Can I see ever get me in that? Like I say, I like how we duke the uncle.
Uh-huh.
My wife today morning with beer, 10 to 5 on a Sunday morning. She loved it,
Mhm.
but she'd never been back
Aye.
since.
Okay. Aye.
That she'd never been back, but she did say she would have a lot like what you said. She came out, she felt buzzing, excited. It was
Mhm.
really good.
Aye.
Have you ever duke on a well, see for a while for maybe a holiday or while for a
Mhm.
while, did you can duke in other places, eh?
Aye, we a group of us went up to Aviemore earlier this year, and we were in like Loch Morlich and some of the other lochs and that up that way. And I was just at a weekend. I was doing it Loch Tay, so I
Mhm.
went for a Duke doing there as well. I'm trying to think other places. Been doing in Brighton as well, doing it South of
Okay.
England. And then
Mm-hmm.
obviously in my holidays, but I mean that's different when you're going in the Mediterranean. It's a whole different ball game there, so it's
Aye.
fine and warm there.
And that's when you get me getting into the sea. I was swum in Italy and I was swum in Portugal, but nowhere else. They never work.
Oh.
So, does your hubby do it?
Oh no, definitely no.
No.
Oh no, he is the biggest wimp ever. I got him in. We were away a weekend doing it Loch Tay, and I was like, "Come on, just come in with me, just get a shot." And I seen a video, and I could hardly breathe for laughing at him because he was just. I wasn't muckle swear words on it, but I was definitely a lot going through his head, and he was just like, he lasted less than 10 seconds. He was like, "Nah, that's no for me, nah, nah at all." So and he went back up to the apartment in our hot tub. So that's more his thing.
A man after my own heart. Now, Gail, as you can, I'm on a committee with the Brock Football Club. A
Hmm.
while ago, we were doing playing East Fife and we stopped overnight in Dundee. So on
Yep.
the Sunday morning, we went into Dundee. They've got the inflatable thing. And it's in
Oh,
the.
aye.
Have you been into that thing?
I hadn't been on it. No, I've seen it, but I hadn't been at it. No.
Well, the boys did it and they thought, what a brilliant way to start off a Sunday morning. Kind of
Uh-huh.
one or two of them might have a shandy or two the night before. They just absolutely loved it.
Uh-huh.
So,
I know. I do fancy it. It looks rare.
but they all had wetsuits on.
Okay.
So
Uh-huh.
they've been in like an obstacle course. They must have been in, oh, I suppose, about an hour. So
Okay.
I just stood on the balcony with a cup of coffee and watched them go on with
Oh, me.
it. So, and a cold winter's morning, what else I was going to ask you, do you wear footwear going into the beach? Having you again, do you wear anything in your feet?
Yeah, I usually wear boots. So boots and gloves. Uh,
Okay.
usually just wear just because your hands and feet, definitely your extremities feel the call a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wear that just with my duckers. And sometimes in winter I'll wear a hat when I'm in the water as well. But we've lost a lot of hats in the Broch Beach just with the waves and that. So I didn't wear my favourite ones. So
They'll turn up somewhere in Norway or somewhere, will they?
we heaps of them up over in Belgar anyway.
I can imagine. I can imagine. I was going to ask you a question there, but you lost your hats through my start. Like, I really can't mind what I was going to say. So
That's all
it's,
right.
did you ever go as a group? I know you said you was to Lochmorlock. Do you ever go and meet with other groups? There wouldn't be any competitions around here involved in this, is there? Or like fun get
No,
together somewhere?
no, not really. I mean, I ken of some of the other salty water folk. They've met with other folk like further along the coast, up at like Banff or Cullen
Mm-hmm.
and places like that. A lot of I think there's a quite a big community like online, like on Facebook and stuff. Like wild swimmers, and then there's like outdoor swimming society and things like that. So um, there's times I have seen folk kind of like putting on, oh, I'm gone here for a weekend as somebody goes wild swimming or whatever or that there, and then there's usually I'll be heaps of folk I'll respond and just say kind of fit time and that they're going. So aye.
Well, Gayle, you've enlightened me. I've really enjoyed listening to you about your salty water dippers. But
Good.
before we finish,
there
might be a few folk watching this thinking, will I or will I not? So in closing, give them an argument for getting it done. Go for it.
I think that OMD can try cold water swimming or dipping because it's the most exhilarating thing you'll probably ever do. It's setting yourself a wee bit of a challenge. Doesn't cost you anything to do it. You can just turn up with your duckers, and it's a great community of folk. You'll probably meet folk that you wouldn't have necessarily been pals with you're at before. So it's good for you physically, it's good for you mentally, socially, and that as well. And it's a brilliant community, and I think it's fantastic because it really promotes the Broch Beach in the local area. And and I think Omdi should just give it a go. So next time we're doing Willie, I'll be looking for you doing a beach, okay?
You'll make good answer, Gayle. I'll never near. Just before we finish, give them folk details, contact details again, how to get in touch with you.
If they go onto Facebook or Instagram and look for Salty Water Folk, and you can message through the pages, and somebody will be in touch with you. Then you can get added to a WhatsApp chat, and then it's just basically for there. Again, swims are on usually a Wednesday evening at 7 o'clock. That usually stops over winter time, but always a Saturday morning at 8.
Well, Gayle, thank you much, and I hope you get a few more folk coming out. Now, after that, I think I'm off for a fine haircut with your coffee to warm up. Thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you, and thank you for giving up your time and coming on.
Oh, thank you very much, Willie. My pleasure.
Take care. See you in the Bellsy sometime.
Oh, definitely. See you then.
Right, take care. Thanks a lot, Gayle. Bye.